Hi there YouTube, this is the Magnus, bringing you another Total War Warhammer online ladder battle. Today my opponent chose the vampire counts and I decided to bring the Warriors of Chaos. I've been spending a lot of time testing the new units and trying positions and stuff, and so far I've learned a lot, but I've taken quite a bit. Ranking is pretty bad. At last I checked, it was I think a little over 200, so not good. But let's take a look at the composition I brought here. I anchor my center with 4 Chaos Warriors. On each flank I have a Chaos Warrior with great weapons. I also have an extra Chaos Warrior of great weapons guarding my Chaos Sorcerer of Fire. I also have 3 Aspiring Champions and a Chaos Giant, and for my leader I have my personal favorite, Kolek Sun Eater. And he did get a buff in the latest patch, so I figure, hey, gotta try him out some more. Now my opponent brought 4 Crypt Horrors, nothing super new about that. A Karn Wraith, he's got Manfred von Karstein, but he elected to just leave him on foot, so that was kind of unusual. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 skeleton swordsmen, the Sternsmen, which are a Graveguard unit, skeleton spearmen. Over in the forest here he has the Dire Pack, Dire Wolves, and he has 2 Black Knights, which I haven't seen used in a while. So those are the compositions, those are the layouts, so we're going to go ahead and fight. And nobody here has missiles, nobody has artillery, so we're just going to go at it here. And I'm first going to move up and see how he's going to partition his forces, and I'm looking for anything unusual. The Feasters and the Dusk Crypt Ghouls have stalks, so I have no idea they're back there. I don't know those Dire Wolves are there, the Dire Pack. Everything else is visible to me, but I just want to see what his plan is. So I see him starting to swing Manfred out wide, so I'm paying attention to that. And as cavalry's come to this side, so I swing over my extra greatsword to help fend them off, because the Chaos Warrior with great weapon is not that much worse against most cav than the halberds. So a lot of people, when they see the Chaos Warrior with great weapon, they're not as worried, whereas the halberd they would avoid. So I'm hoping I can egg him into a engagement here. So it looks like I'm going to be able to, so I start to form up a line with my Chaos Warriors with great weapons, but then he fakes out and these guys are coming around this way. So I decide, okay, if anybody's going to start this fight, it's going to have to be me, because he seems content to just dance around, and I want to do some fighting. So I start issuing individual orders for all of my infantry and then the aspiring as well. I send my great swords to chase. Not a good idea, because they're way too slow to catch those guys, but you know what they say about wishful thinking. So he brings his Black Knights into these Chaos Warriors, and they're going to take the charge, but since he's so wide and they were so narrow, you'll notice the damage is pretty minimal. But I'm going to pop in Kolek and the great weapons to try and make him pay, but he's going to be able to get away from them. All across the line, very weird angles of engagement occurring here. You can see these Chaos guys with great weapons are getting their butts kicked by the Karn Wraiths, and he's got Manfred over here supporting, which is going to work out pretty well for him. He's also going to bring his cav into my rear over here. All of a sudden I see these the Dire Pack come running out of the woods. Didn't expect that. I gets a good charge into my Chaos Warriors, but again, the Black Knights, very weak charge bonus, and the Chaos Warriors are pretty tough against that. I've got my Giant over here dealing with some Skeletal Warriors, and also is going to be working on these Crypt Horrors. He brings up some Skeleton Spearmen from the rear to get them into the battle. On the other flank, I've got he's got his Black Knights surrounding my Chaos Warriors with great weapons, along with a Spearman unit, but they're holding up pretty well. And his Dire Pack is not enjoying getting clubbed on by Kolek. So Kolek's beating on them, and then he's going to charge in and start beating on these Spearmen as well. They're going to start to waver. They don't enjoy having Kolek pound on them. This offers relief to my infantry on that side. These great swords are still trying to chase his cav. I realize they're going to just keep playing games, so I go this way, but then I realize they're going to engage, so I want to try to get them in the rear, but he's being very sneaky with these Black Knights, very evasive, avoiding me being able to get in there and really get hold of him. I'm using my Chaos Sorcerer, of course, the buff, but I'm moving him around a lot because I don't want him to be able to keep track of where he is and use that against him. The right flank is largely in his favor as far as numbers, but my Aspiring Champions are holding up longer than I'm sure he would like, and my Chaos Giant is just pounding through everything he can. On the left flank, it's the opposite story. He just has the Sternsman and these Black Knights that my guys keep beating on pretty well, and Kolek's been pretty dedicated to the left flank, but you will see me bring him to the center from time to time to offer some assistance. So I use my Chaos Sorcerer here to charge into his rear, just trying to get rid of those cav. He's doing a good job of keeping Manfred moving around as well. You know, small target like that, hidden behind his guys, I'd have to go through a lot of Crypt Horrors to get to him, so it's not worth it right now. If we look over here, some of his units are starting to break down, and I feel like this thing is close to a victory at this point. I feel like I'm on the cusp, but I couldn't be more wrong. There's still a lot of fighting to do. The Chaos Giant, 70 kills, still holding strong. These Aspiring Champions got 45 kills, and they're still going, and Skeleton Warriors are definitely not a match for them. Let's take a look at Kolek. 87, 89 kills, still stomping around. His stats are just through the roof right now. He's having a great time pounding the hell out of the undead. But he's doing a great job getting charged with these Black Knights, but you'll notice, look at the kills. Where were they? I just lost you guys. I think we had 8, 9 kills, 10. Just not real super effective, but they're not expensive either, so we wouldn't expect, you know, big results. Now here my Chaos Giant is trying to finally finish off the Dire Pack. It seems like it's going to melt away, but never does, as well as the Skeleton Warriors and Spearmen. The Aspiring are still going up against the Skeleton Warriors, so the right side's become very, very quiet. The left, I don't realize these Chaos Warriors finished their battle, but I am going to pull them in eventually. So the big focus here is now I'm trying to make a push to get Manfred there for a while, and then I realize he's got, you know, a lot of guys in the way of my left flank getting over, so I'm trying to help out with that. But then boom, we're going to start putting some damage down on Manfred. But Manfred came ready for this sort of thing, and I don't know what's causing him to heal, whether it's a spell or just his regular ability, but he keeps healing and I just can't get rid of the jerk. I try using the lightning to beat up the Carnrace some, since they've just been perpetually a pain in my butt. He's going to chase down some of my fleeing units with his Black Knights. That's a great use for them. That's definitely something they're intended to be used for. I've got my Giant chasing down Manfred, but he has trouble hitting him for whatever reason, as does Kolek. So I'm just chasing them around the battle. Now there Kolek gets a good hit on him. And in the meantime, my infantry keep wavering and then coming back, and it's just kind of back and forth. His guys keep looking like they're going to fizzle out entirely, and then they decide to keep fighting. Here he comes in with another charge from the Black Knights. Boom. It's going to get a good effect. And though they're not getting a lot of kills, 21, they are doing a lot of disruption because guys laying on their back are definitely not fighting. So again, I'm in the middle here. I'm trying to get my hands on Manfred, but he calls in all these Crypt Horrors and the Carnrace, and they're doing a good job of playing a shield for him. He also he gets Foe Seeker Standard Die going. My Undeath Resurgent Master of the Black Arts is out there. So there's a lot of abilities being used, and the fight just continues. Now the power bar is going in my favor, but now all of a sudden it's going out of favor because I'm running low on guys. You'll see that I have a lot of people that are fleeing or just coming back from fleeing, and we're in this big ball in the center, and it's favoring him. For some reason, this cluster, look, Manfred's back up to over half life. That's not good, so I start swinging at the Black Knights, thinking I got to stop them. I've got the Giant now working on the Crypt Horrors, hoping to stop them, and it's still shifting in his favor. I'm throwing down lightning pretty desperately here and trying to get fleeing troops back in the fight as quick as I can. But his Black Knights are doing a great job, if you notice, just running through all of my coward fleeing units, and it's shifting things back to the middle of the bar. So now we have no idea who's going to win. Manfred seems to have 9 lives in this fight. I can't bring him down. He's obviously using all the magic he can to keep him and his fellow undead alive, and it's working extremely well. My giant starts fleeing, and that really scares the crap out of me, as well as the fact that Kolek is getting rather low on health. I pop Deadly Onslaught, hoping to get some kills in here. My Chaos Sorcerer has been out of Cascading Fire Cloak, but now there's virtually no hope of casting another spell, so I'm using it in melee. But we got rid of the Black Knights. Now we're working on the Crypt Horrors. We want to leave Manfred all by his lonesome, and down they go. And then finally we start to work on Manfred, on Karstein. He's going to stand in there, but with this many units now, my guys start to get some courage back since there's only one person to beat. I pull Kolek out momentarily because I don't want him to spike Kolek and cause some sort of a chain route. If you notice, the leadership of my men is very low, and that's definitely something I'm worried about. The giant comes back. He's going to put a big stick down, and that is going to be the end of the battle. We have a victory for Chaos, but my God, was it hard fought. Good game to my opponent. As far as, advice or whatever, I really can't offer any, because that was about as darn close of a fight as I've ever had, which made it very entertaining. And the other thing I liked about it was that, there was a pretty even slog with the rank and file infantry, but guys like Manfred and some of his regiments of renown and like my Kolek and stuff like that were they really felt like heroes or monsters, like they had a huge impact on the fight. So looking at the tail of the tape, the aspiring champions did well. Chaos Warriors did fine. 2 of the Chaos Warriors with great weapons did a fantastic job putting up beastly amounts of kills, which I needed to do since I was outnumbered 2-1. Giant 145 kills. Kolek 111 kills. I was able to keep my Chaos Sorcerer long enough to completely exhaust his Winds of Magic, so I was very pleased with how the army performed. For my opponent, the Skeletal Warriors didn't do much, but they did hang in there a long time. Skeleton Spearmen did a little better. The Feasters in the Dusk, the way he deployed them and stuff, I just don't feel like he got what he could have out of them. The Karn Wraiths were a giant pain in my butt. Stearnsmen did well. Black Knights did a great job of chasing off my fleeing units. Dire Pack, they had an impact there for a while, and they were tough to get rid of, but kill-wise, not much. The Crypt Horrors, as always, were a very strong killing force for the vampire counts. So looking at this composition that I have for against the vampire counts, I think it needs tweaked. Unless I faced a great opponent, and that's a great build for going against the Warriors Chaos, I'm disappointed with the results. I need to be able to win with a lot more convincing fashion than that, because I felt like I could have lost it at any time. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, you learned something, please like, please subscribe. If you have feedback on my build, what I can do to make it better, or anything like that, please leave it in the comments. You guys know I love discussing this stuff with you. I'm a junkie, what can I say? And until the next time, this is the Magnus, and I'll see you on the ladder.